Personal growth, self-confidence, self-love, self-respect all come from doing difficult things. The more you can go from idea to action will determine your success. So at the core of happiness is service.
Thank you so much for accepting my invitation. It's great to have you on the 0.1% show, man. How are you doing?
Appreciate the love, Simeon. Thank you for having me on, dude. It's an honor to be here.
Man, you've put out so much inspirational content in the last 10 years. It's insane. And I wanted to know, from all the things that you've been researching and putting out as content, if there is one thing you wish people would learn and get as an insight and implement in their lives, what would that be and why?
The belief that they have Michael Jordan level talent at something. Like the belief that you could be the greatest in the world at something. That's at the core of everything that I'm trying to do. That it may not be the thing that your parents or your friends want you to do, or the thing you went to school for, or what's commonly done in your country or your community or your background, but you are a genius and could be the world's greatest at something. That's what I want to try to spread.
How do you go about finding this something, in your opinion?
There's actually a lot of ways to go out and find it. The biggest hurdle that I found, because when I started in my career, I would dive into the ways. I would say, hey, do this, model success, learn from people who've done it before, right? There's lots of different, say yes to everything, go off and try new things. There's tons of different strategies. The problem is people don't execute on the strategies because they don't actually believe it. They don't believe it. They don't actually think. Like I would see them a week later, a month later, a year later, and they're still in the same spot. You could give them the strategy, but without the belief that it's possible, people don't move to action.
That makes a lot of sense, man. It's been my experience, and I found myself in such periods of my life where I've lost belief, and I look back and I see like 1 year passed and I went nowhere in this 1 year. I stayed in the same place. And yeah, mindset is huge, and I've been watching your content for years now, and it's been part of my inspiration to change things around, sell my business, move to the US, start this podcast, write a book. So yeah,
I love it.
That's
great. That's amazing. Congrats. That's awesome.
Thank you, man. Just like you, yeah, belief is a huge part, and then you just need to do. That's in my experience. And for me to find what you really want to do, you just need to try 100 things, and you can try them out for a week, try them out for a month, and then you will start getting experience and meeting people and learning what you want to do. But you cannot know what you want to do before trying out things, a lot of things.
I think the more you can go from idea to action will determine your success. So as soon as you get an idea for something, I wish I could blank, fill in that sentence, right? Then go do something. Where what most people do is they'll say, I wish I could, and then they make that idea bigger and bigger and bigger. And then it becomes unachievable because now you need money, now you need a team, now you need to move to a different country, now you need all these things. And so it's this great dream that could happen, and entrepreneurs are fantastic dreamers, but what are you doing? And so instead of plan, take that idea and just find the smallest possible way to get started. If somebody's saying, man, I love Simeon, I want to have my own show, great, pull out your phone and press record and then post. It's going to suck, great, and then do it again and do it again and pay attention to how you feel. Because if you love the feeling and you keep coming back and doing it, you're going to get better. Most people just aren't taking enough action. They have ideas, they write them down, and they never do anything with them. And they've got this giant list of ideas. And that, listen, people listening, you guys are geniuses. Your idea list is never going to get shorter. You're always going to come up with more and more and more ideas, but it doesn't count until you actually do something. So how do you start checking those off? You just take one small action towards it.
Absolutely, yeah. When you've done all this massive amount of research of most of the great minds in the world, you probably know more than most of us here about so many things, at least how really successful people think. So from all that you've learned, what do you think makes a great, happy life? At least from the people that you've researched, from your own experience, because this is probably the most complicated question that I speak about in my book. And for me, what I believe in, I believe that for everyone, there are 10 or 15 things that you need to do every single day to live a happy life. It's that simple for me. It's like certain habits, certain things you do with your family, with your business, with your mission, with money, with your health and your mindset and your emotional state. But how do really successful people approach it, and what do you do to live a happy life?
With happiness, there's one important thing that is above all the others. One important thing: service. Humans are built to serve. If you're not happy, you're not serving. You're not helping others. And you either want to serve the world, chances are people listening to your show, they have a big mission. They want to serve the world. They want to have a big impact. That's your audience. But not everybody is necessarily built that way. Some people just want to serve the 25 closest people to them. Just family oriented. That's great too. But if you're not happy, it's because you're not serving. That's the foundational habit of everything else. If you're massively overweight because you're not taking care of your body, if you're serving, you can still be happy. Right? If you're not making a lot of money and you're upset about that, but you're serving people, you could still be happy. But if you're in shape and you're making lots of money and you did everything else, but you feel like you're not serving, you're not happy. So at the core of happiness is service.
I love that idea, man. And I truly believe in this. And that's why I'm doing what I'm doing as well. That's why I changed my career. Is this why you changed course as well, like 10 or 15 years ago?
Yeah, I mean, I started this path of helping entrepreneurs almost 20 years ago after I sold my company, then tried to figure out what to do next. Ultimately, so when you say service, then the next question is, well, how do you serve? Well, what am I supposed to do? How do I serve people? Well, your purpose comes from your pain. So the thing you struggled the most with in life is the thing you want to help other people through. And some people then will say, well, who am I to do that? I haven't gone off and accomplished as much as this person and that person and him and her. I'm nobody. But you know more now than you did 5 years ago. And the person you are now can help the person who you were 5 years ago. There's lots of people who currently are who you were 5 years ago. Go help them. And it doesn't mean you stop growing. You keep taking another step on your staircase, and you want that staircase to be infinite. The second you stop growing, you're not gonna enjoy your life. You want to keep growing. But every time you take a step, maybe you're going from step 99 to 100 to 101, and maybe a Tony Robbins is at step 1,000 and he's still growing and you want to keep getting there, but you're still at step 101. There's a lot of people who are step 5. And so you reach back and you help them up. You're climbing up and you're reaching back and helping people come up to the step that you're at. So your purpose comes from your pain. The thing that you struggled the most with is the thing that you want to help other people with. And you know more than you did 5 years ago. So start helping, start serving.
Yeah. And no one should compare themselves now when they're starting to someone who's already 10, 20 years in the game. It just doesn't make sense. And I always say to people, go and watch this person's first video, or like, how did his business look in the first 12 months? It was not the same, right? Everyone starts from zero. Obviously, like, it depends on the situation. Some people had 5 businesses before that and they have the experience, so it's a different game that they're playing now. But everyone starts from zero. Like, we're all born more or less the same, and everyone can learn. That's my strongest belief, and what helps me grow is that I can figure things out. And if someone has done something, this means that I would probably be able to do it as well. No matter what it is, even if it is like sending people on Mars.
I think the comparison thing is interesting. I think as a starting point, I think you're absolutely right. I think ultimately, though, when I see somebody, if I look at Les Brown, he's my favorite speaker of all time. Young Les Brown. Like, Les Brown, when he was my age, is my favorite speaker of all time. I look at Les Brown and I think, man, this guy is amazing. And I look at that as, this is what's possible. Not, I suck and I can never do that. But I think the comparison, I think you actually need comparison. I think what the comparison does is allows you to see something greater for yourself than what currently exists. If you only see people around you who are less than you, who haven't done as much as you in the thing that you care about, then you don't push yourself as hard. If you see somebody who's ahead of you, you'll see that's possible. I want to go and get that for myself too. The difference is, though, most people kick themselves down. I can't do it because they're so much better than me, and so I'm not going to start. I want to kick myself forward, not down. But I think the difference is you need to have the kick. You need the kick. If you don't get a kick, you stay where you are. Just most people kick themselves down where you should be kicking yourself forward. So I look at somebody who's accomplished more than you. Maybe they did it when they were younger than you. Maybe they did it with less money than you, or maybe they had all these things set up, but they did it. You can too. Let's go.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, I do agree on that. The comparison part, that you need these people that you look up to and see what's possible, because it is.
Yeah.
Like for you right now, what does personal growth look like? What are the craziest things that you've tried in order to try to kick yourself into a higher gear?
I'm doing it right now. So I'm doing a live stream on YouTube. Right now, people can see me on live. They can't hear you, but they see me going live on YouTube.
All right.
And we're doing four days of 8 to 12-hour streams. And I'm nervous because even right now, I'm talking to you. I'm not talking. The camera's right here. I'm not talking to the camera.
And how many people are watching right now?
I have no idea.
No?
But I'm worried that they're going to leave while I'm talking to you and not them. I'm worried that I might pick my nose and people start flaming me in the comments. I'm worried that I might do something wrong or get judged for. And because I'm worried about it, then I have to do it. That's where growth comes from. Personal growth comes from doing things that you're scared of. And so because I was scared, now I have to do it. Even just because this might be my strategy for the rest of my life of making a live stream every day, it becomes the Entrepreneur Truman Show, or I stop and I never do it again. But when you're scared of something and you catch it and you recognize I'm scared of this and you don't do it, you're teaching yourself that you suck. You're teaching yourself that you come up with big ideas and then you're afraid to do it. And that even if you never share them with anybody else, you come with an idea yourself and you say, I'm too scared to do that. You're telling yourself, I suck. Where if you have an idea and you're scared and then you go do it, whether you win and get the result or you don't, the willingness to try is where the personal growth comes from. Personal growth, self-confidence, self-love, self-respect all come from doing difficult things. Your goals don't count until they're difficult.
Where is the limit to that though? Because there are many paths to personal growth. There are many ways to expand your mind. There's some quite weird stuff that you can do, like ayahuasca retreats and stuff like that many people look down to. Have you experienced many of those things that people say can help you expand your mind and open up to new possibilities, or you put some limits to that?
The limit is, why am I afraid of it? Why do I not want to do it? The only acceptable answer is this is not an expression of myself. So for example, two recent examples. One, I had, Wim Hof?
Yes.
So Wim Hof came to Toronto, my city, and I connected with his team and we ended up doing a one-on-one interview with him. And then I went to his workshop where you're sitting in an ice bath. You're breathing all day and then you sit in an ice bath together. That I was not excited to do. Like, it scared me. I don't want to sit in an ice. I hate the cold. I don't want to sit in an ice bath. And so like, okay, I have to do it. I'm afraid to do it. So I have to go off and do it. And then I brought a video team with me and we filmed the whole thing. So now I still have cold showers. I don't sit in ice baths and everything now, but I've continued some of it and it was a worthwhile experience. On the other side, Tough Mudder?
No.
Tough Mudder is this race where you go through these obstacle courses and it's an endurance race. You have to climb over fences and like roll in the mud and like you're in the army kind of thing to show how tough you are. A buddy of mine, Mark, is doing Tough Mudder with his wife and his friend and a couple of the people. Said, hey, Evan, you want to come and join Tough Mudder? I'm not interested. Like, I'm not scared of it. It would be tough. Maybe I make it through. Maybe I don't. I just don't care. So it's, why are you saying no? Are you saying no because you're afraid? Or are you saying no because you just don't care about it? And understanding that difference is critical, because we'll often find logical reasons to talk ourselves down from doing things, but deep down we're just afraid.
Love that, man. If you were forced with a gun to your head to
double,
getting serious here, okay?
To double what you're doing right now in the next 12 months in terms of scaling your business, scaling your show, scaling your impact, what would you do differently?
It's a question I'm always trying to ask myself. I don't have a gun pointed to my head while I'm asking myself that too, but I'm constantly trying to push like even right now with the live stream, it's a big, risky, scary thing. Will it work? I don't know. The easy answer is just more content. The easy answer is I'll hire more people, create more channels, do more of the same thing that I'm doing. It's worked. And so I can keep doing it. If you, here's the thing, actually, I think like if you put a gun to my head, I could probably do more of what I'm currently doing and I can get the result that you're after, but I don't want that result. My goal isn't to just double what I'm currently doing. So I could do it in a way that helps me achieve the outcome, but it's not actually a goal that I have for myself.
What is the new goal? Where are you heading? Because like for me, what I'm starting to understand in the past months is that if you really want to do something amazing and to have incredible amount of impact, you should stop doing what everybody else is doing. That is at least my opinion, something that I've started to realize. So I'm interested, like, where are you heading? Because times are changing, platforms are changing, medias are changing. How do you see the future for you and what you're trying to achieve?
So I always want to be trying the thing that pops into my head. I want to go from idea to action. I thought about the idea, this whole live streaming YouTube thing came together really quickly. We have this backpack that my friend Ray is now carrying, and he's wearing it. He's got it in front of me. Ray's going to step in, show him the backpack. Look, there's Ray. He's wearing a backpack. He's got the camera on. Yeah, he says, "Good to meet you." He can't hear you. He'll translate through the microphone. But like I asked him last week if he wanted to come, and here we are. We're making it happen. And maybe it's actually gone a lot smoother than I expected. But maybe it's the greatest thing of all time, or maybe we like crash and burn, and the backpack sets on fire, and Ray has scars all over his back and never talks to me. I don't know. I don't know, right? Like you go off and do it. But to your question, I was actually having a conversation with Jeremy, who's here as well, who said, what about a goal to like, I want to make X amount of money by the time I'm 30, right? Or X amount of, I think that's the wrong goal.
For sure, yeah.
It forces you to do actions that are actually not consistent with what you want to be doing. Making money is important, but it shouldn't be the number one goal. Doubling my business is important, but it's not the number one goal. So if I had a gun to my head, I would do it because I don't want to die. But it means I wouldn't take a risk. I wouldn't do this. I wouldn't be talking to you. If you had a gun to my head to say double my business in the next 12 months, I wouldn't be talking to you. I'd be all in just how do I make 18 videos a day? Because I know that works.
Yeah.
But maybe I talk to you and then we end up forming a business together that turns into a $3 billion company, right? I don't know. But if I have a gun to my head, I'm not taking that chance.
Amazing, man. I have a last question for you before we go. If you could leave nothing to your kids but just one sentence of advice, what would that be and why?
If it's to my kids, it would be Carmichael's Can Do Anything.
Love it, man.
If it's to the general public, it would just be believe. If you have a podcast or interview show and want me to be a guest on it, I have two options for you. There's a link right there next to me. Go click it, and I look forward to being a guest on your show.